I didn't have a single sip of alcohol for 100 days, living in one of the most iconic places to sit at a bar and have a cosmopolitan with your friends. New York City. But honestly, in the beginning though, I was wondering, like, why even live in New York City if you're not gonna drink? The catalyst for this break from alcohol came from a bit of sober curiosity at the end of last year, and then I just had one night where, just to be frank, I went and binge drank and spent way too much money on Ubers and bar tabs, and I woke up the next day and was just so hungover the whole Saturday. Sometimes all it takes is one moment for you to be like, yeah, I kind of want to change things. And that's what it was like. I mean, on a night out, I never intend to go drinking all night. In New York City, drinks are really expensive. So why have a couple drinks, start feeling a little good, and then just throw it all away? And that's like 50 bucks down the drain. At this point in my life, I'm still going out and drinking like I'm in my 20s, and I'm not processing the alcohol like I was in my 20s. It takes me a day or two now in my 30s to completely recover. So then what was my whole experience like being sober for 100 days?
It was boring as fuck. What do you think it was like? No, I'm just kidding.
I also decided to do 100 days sober throughout maybe the hardest time of the year to do it. I think I started early November, so that meant like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, friends' birthdays. Oh yeah, and the death of my pet rabbit. That was like the breaking point for me. And also, like, I would still go out and I would still go to dance places and clubs and still living the same lifestyle that I used to have. Now I wasn't drinking. And also because I just genuinely like doing stuff like that, and so it felt wrong to just remove myself from everything and like go cold turkey in that way. And I just knew that was the right choice for me, because when I'm in those environments, I am able to see people drink and not need a drink myself. But just like a heads up, clubbing in New York City is like a hellhole. It's dirty, smelly, because I've never been to a club sober. Like, why would I ever do that until I've done this challenge? I would never do that again. And I was like, why did I ever like this? I did go to a sober event. It was called Absence of Proof, and being there made me feel for the first time like I wasn't missing out on anything. I don't know what that recipe was for their non-alcoholic margaritas, but that was the best non-alcoholic drink I had the entire time. Throughout the 100 days, I didn't really find any alcohol substitutes that I really liked besides like those craft cocktails and mocktails at the event that I went to, but all the canned stuff with the marketing of, oh, it's made with like a certain kind of mushroom that's supposed to give you the float feeling if you drink like 12 whole cans of them. For one, it was upsetting my stomach, so I stopped drinking those things, but two, it just seemed like a waste of money because the cost of those things was almost the same amount as just a regular drink going out. And I'm just like, what's the point if I'm not saving money? You at least have to be saving money doing this. I really had to redefine what having fun, what having a good time means to me now at this age. And I genuinely felt like I needed a vice. Like I needed something to make me feel like I could escape. You know, I'm not talking about needing to skydive or bungee jump or anything, but just something that I had for me to feel like I didn't have to be so put together and uptight all the time. The search for dopamine when you're sober is real.
I'm a little good at it.
With nightlife, I really didn't find a substitution for that kind of excitement and adrenaline. But with my hobbies that I was picking up and investing more time into, I was getting like the dopamine hits. I did get feelings of adrenaline. Of course, it wasn't exactly the same, but I think I was Let's go for a walk, shall we? And I really think it brought to light an addiction to chaos that I had. Like, one of my favorite parts of living in New York is going out at night, having a couple drinks, not thinking about tomorrow, going with wherever the night takes you. And that, to me, is freedom, or that's what it was, or that's how I used to define freedom. A lot of this dependency on alcohol had a lot to do with my fear of being perceived, and a fear of being judged, and a fear of being misunderstood. All of which I'm overcoming because I have a YouTube channel. I sort of have to get over that, you know? In person, it's different, and in my personal life, it's different. But those fears go away when I'm drinking. And they also go away when other people are drinking around me, because I know they're not focused on judging me, and if they are, they probably won't remember it in the morning. But usually they're just focused on themselves. Ooh, this light, this backlight. And in those 100 days, I really didn't meet anyone new in person, mostly because I just wasn't going out. And when I did go out, my social anxiety was like at an all-time high. I didn't even want to talk to anybody, and I found conversation really difficult. Also just because I didn't want to be there. Like I made a video on YouTube a couple years ago about like how to make friends living in New York City, and I even suggested going to bars and sitting alone and striking up conversation and become a regular. And even when I was making that video, I was finding it hard to give options for making new friends in person other than sitting at bars, because in those situations people are the most open to inviting new people into their group. But when I was sober and going out, I was overthinking everything. But unfortunately, that means I have a lot of work to do when it comes to undoing that. That's a problem for another day. With my existing friendships, it went one of two ways. Either I would go out with a group of people and they were really supportive and never pushed me to drink, or I went out with some people I'm like, I don't know why we're even friends. Like the only reason we're connected is because we just like to be drunk together and we just enable each other to drink, which is fine. Those friendships are fun and fine, but you find that you just don't keep seeing those people over time. Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles and your circle can get a lot smaller. Overall though, I felt really supported by my friends, but I did realize how important community is. That's also why I downloaded this app called, what is it called? Oh, I deleted it. I don't know how to, hold on. Oh yeah, okay. So the app is called I Am Sober. It gives you all these little milestones. For the first 10 days, I think it's like every day. And there's community posts for everyone who's logged in on the same like sober timeline as you for different milestones. Like even the first day you can read people in a long community post about their experience. You can comment and interact with them. But one of my favorite parts of this experience was I made so many more plans and I was really able to follow through on them, which I can't say I've been good about following through on plans prior to that. I would never make plans to go get a coffee on a Saturday morning, just assuming that I would be out on Friday night and I would be having drinks and would be hungover the next day and wouldn't want to end up going and then cancel last minute. Like I was kind of shitty like that. In this case, that was never an issue. Like I could still go out on Fridays, not drink, still hang with friends, and like still be in bed before midnight, still wake up at 9 a.m. because I didn't really feel like I needed to sleep any later than 9 a.m. I could just fit so much more into my day, and I felt like I had the mental capacity to really do that. The really hard part came around 2 months in, maybe even like between the 2 and 3 month mark, where I was like, the habits are setting in. Am I really gonna let go? Should I keep going with this lifestyle and keep trying to build on everything that I spent so much effort building? Or should I like go back to going out and drinking because I'm young, I'm in New York City? And I was also like itching for my old life again, because I always felt like this challenge had an end point to it, and that arose other questions about why am I looking forward to drinking so much? You know, my mind just doesn't stop. And this was interesting too. Money-wise, I really thought I would have saved more money through this experience too than I did, but I used this experience to justify like really random purchases. When I would go out with friends, I didn't want to be that person to like ask for an itemized bill. I will never do that, especially when I'm going out with my best friends. Like, I mean, it's fine because overall the bill was cheaper than it would have been if I was drinking. I need to stop the whole justifying purchase thing. That was the worst part. Being alcohol-free for 100 days here almost made me fall in love with the city all over again, but in a different way. I just see how far potential can take you here if you really invest into it. It's just that constant push-pull of living here, wanting to go out and make memories because I'm young, enjoy that while I can, and like needing to focus on my goals and spend all of my time and energy into that. Someone made a comment that it might actually be easier to stop drinking if you're in an urban setting versus if you're not, because at least you still have a lot of things to do there in a close proximity to you here. Plus, New York City drinking culture really is changing. I feel like the city's kind of evolving into more of how LA is in ways. Maybe that's thanks to our beloved influencers with more of a focus on health and wellness. I mean, we have actual non-alcoholic liquor stores here, which if you rewind back to New York in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that kind of thing was unheard of, and they probably would have laughed at you for wanting to spend money on an entire bottle of fake tequila. So what are the mental and physical changes I noticed in these 100 days? I mean, for one, my skin was glowing. Yeah, I don't really have that same glow anymore. Another one was way less anxiety in general at work. I noticed a bigger difference. Like I was able to manage things on the fly a lot quicker, and I wasn't stressing about the small things. I wouldn't say it cured my anxiety, but it really helped. I did also have more energy, and maybe this also related to the fact that I was sleeping a lot better. I don't think I was sleeping longer because in general I'm constantly fatigued anyway, so I can sleep 8 hours without waking up pretty much every night. But the quality of sleep I was getting, it was a lot better. I usually live in a pretty constant state of brain fog, but it really helped not drinking, kind of realize where the brain fog was coming from. And I think a lot of it had to do with inflammation from drinking. I think I had more motivation as well. Like my spirits were lifted because I was progressing so much in my hobbies. It just was sort of a snowball effect. It gave me a lot more patience. This goes with like my friends, with my family. Also, I feel like I had better memory recall. If you know me well, you know I have the memory of a fruit fly. I think I have a better long-term memory than I do short-term memory. My immune system became robust. I was sober throughout November, December, January, and most of February, and that is like flu season. And I also have to work in office 5 days a week, and everyone's coughing, sneezing around me, even getting COVID, and I'm just like chilling. I didn't get sick a single time. My God, the sugar cravings. I've always had a really big sweet tooth, and I didn't realize how much of that was curbed by the drinks I was drinking. Now that I didn't have that, it was like, I need candy. And I also started drinking Diet Coke a lot more than I ever have. I'm not even typically a soda person. And I think that had to do with another side effect, is that I didn't really lose any weight because I was consuming so much sugar. So what did I really learn from that experience that I'm gonna take with me so that it wasn't all for nothing? As you probably gathered, I have picked up drinking again, but I'm able to do so now in moderation. I can already vouch for this one, that I've made a lot of improvement with this, is that when I go out with friends going forward, the focus is on the connection with the person that I'm with, and the focus not be on what am I drinking, where's the waiter, I want another drink, and where am I gonna get my next drink, and where's the next place that we're going. I think I'm really taking with me moving forward balance, not being so rigid too. I mean, I've mentioned before, y'all know I'm a Virgo, so I have a high success rate with these challenges because I really prioritize them, and I get really hard on myself if I fail at things. So I typically don't fail. Like I made it 100 days and that's great, but if I want to drink, I want to be able to have one, but I don't want it to get in the way of what my goals are and what my priorities are. And like, I'll be scheduling my nights out around my personal goals versus scheduling my personal goals around my nights out and the inevitable hangover, and just being more mindful around the drink that I'm having. Like, yeah, it's okay to spend money on a $20 cocktail, sure, but don't just down it and get another one. Like, sit and enjoy every sip. Take in that atmosphere around you, because as we've discussed, drinking in New York City is a whole experience, and I want to remember that. And that's how I want to remember my nights out. I think adding more activities when I'm going out with my friends. I'm not just sitting at a bar getting drinks. I'm playing pool. The focus is not on the alcohol itself. It's on doing the activity. And also no shots. No shots. No one can ever get me to do a shot ever again. No, no, no. No. Tequila's no. But no. Hard pass, never again. And also, I think it's worth it to mention that just because somebody likes to go out and party all the time does not mean that they're lost in their life. And it doesn't mean that they're trying to find themselves. It just can mean that they just want to go out and have fun. It doesn't always have to be so deep. I don't think I stepped away long enough to be like completely enlightened and know exactly what happened and be able to analyze why I am the way that I am around alcohol. Maybe another time I will do this 100 days again with a different intention, and maybe I'll double it to 200 days. And I could see myself in the future maybe going 100% sober, especially if I decide to leave New York. I feel like there wouldn't be that much of a reason for me to, or just like drink on holidays or something. So I want to know, how do you relate? Share your experience in the comments below. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. The engagement really helps the algorithm recognize my channel. And if you feel so inclined, please do subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!